Hello everyone, welcome to SRL Dr. Avinash Fadke Labs. I am Dr. Alvin Alva and I'm a consultant pathologist with Dr. Avinash Fadke Labs. So today we're going to talk about diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is one of the chronic diseases that is prevalent throughout the world. It affects millions of people and probably you know someone in your family or you yourself are affected by this illness. So we've decided to make a video on this topic so we can explain the basics of diabetes in a simple manner, and you can share this topic with your friends and families. So let's get right into it. What is diabetes mellitus? So diabetes is not just a single disease, it's a group of diseases that affects the metabolism of proteins, fats and carbohydrates. All of these diseases have one thing in common, that is they have high blood sugar levels. So to understand how this abnormal metabolism occurs, we first need to know that how does the body normally process food and what takes place once we eat the food and how it gets digested. So when we eat food, it passes through our food pipe right into our stomach, where there are several enzymes that break it down into smaller molecules. So more complex food is broken down into simpler substances. Complex carbohydrates are further broken down into glucose, and this glucose from the stomach then enters the bloodstream. Once glucose enters the bloodstream, it reaches an organ known as the pancreas. So the pancreas is like a leaf-shaped organ which is situated immediately below the stomach and in between the loops of the small intestine. This is a enlarged view of the pancreas. So the pancreas is in between the loops of the intestine. Over here, this is the part of the small intestine, and it has three components: the head, the body, and the tail. So once the blood reaches the pancreas, which contains glucose, there are certain cells within the pancreas known as the beta cells. These beta cells produce a very important hormone known as insulin. This hormone known as insulin plays a very important part in how the body manages and stores glucose, as well as it has an important effect on protein and the metabolism of fat. So insulin plays a central role in the development of diabetes. Whenever there is reduced or absence of insulin in the blood for whatever reason, or if the insulin is produced in sufficient amount but it does not act in a manner that it's supposed to, it results in high blood sugar levels. So the absence of insulin or reduced insulin, or if the insulin is produced in sufficient amounts but does not act in the way that it's supposed to, it results in high blood sugar levels. So let's look at this a little bit more in detail. So now we know that the beta cells of the pancreas produce insulin, and insulin has a major role to play in the development, or rather the lack of insulin has a major role in the development of diabetes. So what does insulin do with regards to glucose in the body? So what insulin does is it stores glucose as glycogen in the liver and the muscle cells. So if there's any glucose present in the bloodstream, what insulin does is it sensitizes these cells in the liver and in the muscle, and opens a channel so that the glucose from the bloodstream can enter the liver and the muscle. Here glucose is stored as glycogen, which serves as a reserve of energy in these locations. So from this we can see that one major action of insulin is to reduce the glucose that is present inside the blood and divert it towards the organs like the liver and the muscle. If the amount of glycogen that is stored in the liver and muscle, once it is saturated, like there is no more space for glycogen to be stored, now this glucose is then diverted to form fat in the fat cells as part of triglycerides. So what does this all finally mean? What it means is that insulin has a very important role to play in the blood sugar levels. Insulin is responsible for decreasing the blood sugar levels in a normal individual, and overall it acts as a storage hormone. So what it does is it takes the energy from the blood and stores it in the body for whenever we need it in the future. So it acts as a storage hormone. So when there is a lack or decrease of insulin, the body cannot absorb this glucose and store it, because of which it results in high blood sugar levels. So lack of insulin, either due to insufficient production, or if it is produced in sufficient amounts, it does not act on the tissues in the way it's supposed to, then it results in the condition known as diabetes. So there are several different reasons or conditions in which there is deficient insulin. We'll talk about that in a later video. For now, just to understand that insulin controls blood sugar levels. The lack of insulin or deficiency of insulin is responsible for diabetes mellitus. So this is a basic introduction of what diabetes is and how it is caused. I hope you like this video, and we'll talk about more uh, about diabetes in detail in the coming videos, about what causes diabetes and what are the complications of diabetes and how it affects different organs. So if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. You can post a comment in the comment section, and hope to see you soon in the next video.